Welcome to another episode of Breakaway from the Rat Race. And today I have the pleasure of meeting Nitzan Mosery. And did I have your name right, Nitzan?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, very
Nitzan.
good. I saw you smile as I said your name. So Nitzan, I think, is called a traveling investor. And Nitzan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your investment strategy?
Sure. So I'm originally from New York City. I live now in South Florida. Um, when I was 25 years old, I left New York and I went traveling around the world for about 6, 7 years. And then I settled back in Israel, and in 2009 moved to Florida and kind of got back into real estate. And one of the main reasons why I moved back to the US was because the real estate market at that time, it had tanked. It was, the crash of '07, '08. And I told my wife, I said, it's a good time to go back into real estate and maybe flip a couple of houses and make some money. And, we were big hippies back then. I had long dreadlocks down below my butt. And,
Really? Wow.
yeah, well, that's what happens when you travel for 6, 7 years. So we came here and we started flipping houses. I'd been involved in real estate before when I lived in New York, and I was doing some real estate in Israel as well. And then we moved to South Florida, and I started flipping houses because that was the lowest hanging fruit. I was buying houses, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, concrete block for $16,000. I'd
Wow.
go in, I would just clean it up. I wouldn't even paint it. I would just literally bring a couple of guys, clean it,
Hmm.
and flip it for $30,000 or $40,000, and just kept doing that and doing multiples of those every single month. And it was a lot of
Wow.
fun. I was fixing and flipping as well, wholesaling, double closes, the whole thing. Just it was the Wild West, and it was a lot of
Wow.
fun.
Yeah, it's
Um, but
amazing.
I but I did see the end of the road. I did see the end of the tunnel,
Hmm.
and that's when, I was checking out at Whole Foods, and the guy behind the counter, or the girl, I don't remember what they kind of made a comment. Go, oh my God, I can't believe I'm buying my first rental property. I said, okay, well maybe it's time to look at really what's going on, and also at the same time I put an offer on a house that was burnt. Half of it was completely burnt, all
Yeah.
gone. All you saw was half of a house, and I saw how people were bidding way, way above asking price, and
Wow.
inventory got tight, and just a lot more people coming into the game. And that's when I realized, I said, okay, I have to look for the next road, the next path.
Hmm.
And what I understood also was that when I'm flipping a house, once I close on it and I sell it, I'm not making any more money until I find another house, I
Yeah.
renovate it, put it on the market, have the
It's
stress
not
of,
passive.
not passive at
Yeah,
all. It's
that's
very,
right.
very active. It's very
Yeah.
stressful. It's a lot of fun. I love taking a project and, watching it from what it was to what we can do to it,
Hmm.
and, seeing the
Yeah.
new buyers. But yeah, it's not passive at all.
Yeah.
And the market was tightening. So I went and I said,
Yeah.
what's the next avenue? And I've been involved in offices and rental, um, real estate. So I started looking into multifamily, and I bought a home study course, and then I went and I learned about underwriting multifamilies, and I started buying a
Yeah.
fourplex, flipped a 27 unit, then 157, and it just kind of started
Wow.
rolling, and here I am today.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So a couple of things. So I mean, you are. I hope you're okay me saying that, but you dropped out of school in order to travel. I mean, this is pretty amazing, and
Mhm.
because I think I kind of like that because I think so many people think that, oh no, that's because they studied that, they went to school, they have a bachelor's degree or anything like that. And to me, the real estate is really kind of like it's a level playing field. I mean, there's just lots of opportunity there for people with all kinds of different abilities and all that.
Mhm.
It's not taught in school for the most
Right.
part, and whatever is taught in school is useless. So so
I agree.
it's really learned on the ground, and then so I think that this is amazing. So if you thought, as a listener, if you thought that, oh, this what's important, you need to learn that and in order and graduate from high school, from from university in order to go and invest in real estate and have your license and stuff like that. You don't need any of that.
You don't need it.
And Nitzan is proof of that.
That's right.
That's
Absolutely. Didn't
so that's
graduate
excellent.
college. Didn't
Yeah.
know what I wanted to do. You know, when I was 18, when I turned 18, I went back to Israel. I joined the army. And then when I came back, I was around 20, 21 years old. And I still had no idea what I wanted to do. But my dad said, go be a lawyer, because lawyers can do anything. You know, everybody needs a lawyer. I started studying business law and speech therapy, which they have nothing to do with one another. And business law, you know, the first day of class, my instructor gave me a book this thick, and he said, all right, page 1. He goes, we're going to go through this entire book. And I said, oh my God, that's
Wow.
not me. I just don't have the butt for it. I don't have the ass to sit down and to put my face in a book. That wasn't me. That isn't me. Right.
Yeah.
And you got to know your strength.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're good at and what you like, and excel at that. You know, a lot of people, growing up, you hear, well, why don't you focus on your weak points? Well, if I focus on my weak points, then my weak points will be okay. My strong points will get weaker because I'm not working on my strong points. So I'm actually reducing myself in the playing field.
Yeah.
I figured out, why don't I just focus on what I'm good at and make that awesome and build my super team, my power team around me of people that, complement my skill set.
Exactly. I mean, you look at how actors and musicians, they're focusing on their talent or the things that they're very passionate about. And they don't know anything about business and stuff like that. And so they have people for that. They hire people, they have people as part of their team. And you're absolutely right. I mean, part of being an entrepreneur and an investor is to build a team around you that's going to complement where you are, skills that you're not interested in or areas that you're not as strong as you need to be. Exactly. But your team strong. That's what's important. Yeah. And so in basically 2008, you come back to Florida or somewhere around there, right around 2008. And then you start investing, flipping houses, and you're having fun. And but then you see the market tightening. So how does that compare to what we're seeing today in terms of, because right now we see very low supply, we see extreme demand, not extreme, but a lot of demand, very high demand on the different types of properties, residential especially. So how would you compare the two periods?
Well, so what happened in 2008 was that they were bundling non-performing notes, and then they were selling that as a Class A product on Wall Street, and then everything was built on nothing, right? On bad notes, right? And whoever thought of that was a genius, and the way they sold it, it was like, oh my God, people are actually buying this. So that's what happened then. Now what's going on is I think we had a strong economy from the Trump administration. We went into it strong, and then COVID hit, but the economy was still strong. So it was kind of a tightening of the economy, or slowing down on from a non-organic way, right? It didn't organically pop. It didn't. People were still making money. People still had good jobs. People still wanted to spend. And you can see it's the same that's going on now. South Florida, we're open and places are booming. People are out spending money. They're buying houses, right? I looked on the NAR, the National Association of Realtors website, and I looked at their report. And, usually when you see houses increasing on the market, what happens is you kind of see prices adversely going down, because then it becomes a buyer's market, right? Sellers need to then lower their prices so that they can sell, because now there's an overflow of product on the market. That's not what we see. Houses going up on the market, more product, prices are still going up. It's like, oh my God, what's going on here? When we had the shutdown with the pandemic, I was talking to a lot of my colleagues, and we're going, wow, you know what? We're probably going to come out of this shutdown, and there's going to be a ton of foreclosures, a ton of short sales. Get your cash ready. Let's go. Cap rates are going to go up. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be able to buy more and get really good deals. But what you're seeing now is that it's just the opposite. We're in a serious seller's market. I mean, properties are trading at 4 caps, which is super expensive. You're wondering, what are lenders thinking by lending to somebody at a 4 cap and a cap rate just shows the ratio of income to purchase price. So the lower the cap rate, the more expensive the property is.
Yeah.
And a 4 cap means that property is really expensive. It doesn't mean it's not a good deal. It doesn't mean you can't make money on it. It's just you're buying a Ford at a Mercedes price
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
basically what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? And you think I'm going to tweak it out, I'm going to make it look great. Yeah, but it's never going to be a Mercedes. You may make money on it, but
Hmm.
you got to watch what you're paying for it. So there will be a correction. Everybody's talking about it. It may be, a self-fulfilling prophecy. It may be a market, but as long as they keep interest rates down, people are going to keep buying and buying and buying. It's what's going to happen when those interest rates go up. That's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting thing to see.
That's going to be an interesting thing. I think there's a couple of components. I think the different care packages, like the COVID packages that were passed, like that put like literally trillions of dollars in the economy, and then and that basically is there's a lot of money that's out there, and I think some of that money went to people that already had money, and so they invest in the stock market, they invest in real estate, and all of that. And I think that's one of the components here is
Sure.
that we basically are seeing inflation, not at the consumer level, but we're seeing inflation on the real estate and the stock market.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing too is that if you think that the interest rate is going to go up and the inflation is going to go up, so then where do you want to be as an investor? If you're an investor and you look at all the different investments that you can have, where do you want to be? In my opinion, you want to be in hard assets, and I think it's the opinion of many other investors. So you want to be in real estate, you want to be in gold, you want to be in silver, maybe something like that. But I can't leverage gold and silver. I can't have cash flow on gold and silver. So then scratch those two out, and then you're left with real estate investing.
That's right.
And so that's where I think where we're seeing a lot of the demand on the real estate market for rentals, because it's just like, this is it. This is what, if you think there's going to be inflation, if you think there's going to be an increase in interest, a tightening in terms of the lending, then let's jump in now before it's too late. And
Absolutely.
it's, even though it's a little bit pricey right now, I think it's they're hoping that in the end it's going to even out.
Sure, absolutely. I agree. Hard assets, there's a lot of talk about the cryptocurrency, what it's going to do, the shift and monetary. Yeah, you don't want to have money sitting in the bank. You never want to have money sitting in the bank. Money sitting in the bank doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
You
It makes you feel good though, to
Right.
know you see the numbers on your statement and stuff like that. You say, okay, I'm okay. I can go and spend, $20,000 on a watch. But but then you go, but yeah, exactly. For me, it's the same thing too. Like I want to have all my money out working for me. And but it's not as comforting when you look at your bank statement, because you're looking at it and say, okay, well, we're just hovering, and
Right.
a couple of things go wrong.
As long as you can do the math and be conservative and have your cash flow coming in where it covers your monthly, nut every month, right? Then you're okay. I don't mind having a little money in the bank as long as I've got cash flow coming in and appreciation is working, is building itself up, right? That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you made a big shift then from from single family, and then you went into multifamily. So why did you go into multifamily? And I'm not really questioning it. I think it's a great move, but I'm just saying, why would my listeners why would they be interested in that?
Well, because I'm lazy. I'm a lazy guy. I don't like to work so hard, right?
Yeah.
I like to do something once. I like to create something once and have it feed me forever, right? And that's kind of multifamily, right? Multifamily, it's rental. You can put a property management company inside as well, where they manage the asset, they manage the tenants, they manage everything, and
Mm.
Every quarter, I get my check and I'm happy,
Mhm.
right? So that means that my time is mine now.
Mhm.
I'm not stuck behind a desk and can't leave. Next Monday, my wife and my kids and I, we're getting in our car and we're going on vacation. We're going for, 2 months. We got, summer vacation. That's the kind of freedom that I want in my life. That's the kind of freedom that, your listeners can have, um, either by becoming an owner operator or by passively investing in apartments, right? Because we
Yeah.
raise money from third party people. We call them investors, but they're just like you and me. They're just people who work, who've saved
Yeah.
up money and want to invest, right?
Yeah.
So it's anybody. It's the architect, the engineer, the realtor, the doctor, the lawyer, the dentist, whoever it is, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
They have money sitting in the bank. They want to invest. Now they're now an investor, but it's anybody. And the what they don't teach us in school is how to have your money work for you. They teach you how
Exactly.
you can go out and make money. You're exchanging your hours for dollars. I don't
Yeah.
want to exchange hours for dollars, right? I just want to do something, set it up once, and have it reap rewards. And I call it mailbox money, because you go to the
Hmm.
mailbox, you open it up, whoop, and there's money right there sitting for you.
Yeah.
I just got a couple of checks in today. It's beautiful. I love it when it
Yep.
happens. I get a little
Absolutely.
giggly. I'm like, look, I got checks, right? But it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
you can do it, if you're working and you got a full-time job and you got a family that you got to, look after, and you're 50 like me or younger, and you're getting there, and you understand that, what, if something happens to me, my income goes away.
Mhm.
Or, how long until I can stop working, and will I have that same income and lifestyle as I do now when I'm not working? And if these are questions that you have right now, this is a great time to get into real estate. It's always a good time to get into real estate. You just
Yeah.
have to be conservative and not get, antsy that, oh, I haven't found a deal yet, and just buy
Hmm.
something for the sake of buying. If you're methodical and you're conservative in your numbers, you will always come out ahead, because if you're conservative, you'll be able to ride out any storm that's in front
Hmm.
of you, right? But
Hmm.
if you're really aggressive on your numbers and you're pushing and you're speculating and you're, just aggressive, that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're looking to create passive income, to where at some point that passive income equals or is maybe 80% of your, you know, working income, then
Yeah.
you can start pulling back a little bit, and you can create generational wealth. You can create
Exactly. Yeah.
wealth for your children, so that they can have an easy
Mm.
life, right? I tell
Yeah.
my kids, go out and study what you love. Don't worry about money,
Hmm.
okay? Not because I'm going to give you money, but first of all, go out and do what you love. That's what we're here for, right? We're
Hmm.
here to enjoy and experience life and love and everything. That's why I traveled for so many years, because I was experiencing life.
Hmm.
And so I tell my daughters, just find what you love and get good at it and work it and enjoy it,
Hmm.
and do that, and then the money will come later,
Yeah.
right? um and I want I want them to really go out and enjoy and love what they're studying, what they're working on. I was always taught to go and study law, go and study law. I really didn't like law. I mean, I like arguing with people, but that doesn't mean I like law.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is great. I mean, that's funny you mentioned 80%. I mean, because that's kind of what I'm recommending people is like I recommend them that they start with like a turnkey rental strategy
Hmm.
as they're working full time. When they get close to achieving their monthly passive income goal of 80% of that, then you can pull back. You can go into other types of investment in real estate that
Hmm.
are have better returns because
Right.
because you're gonna need they have better returns, but you're also going to need more time and more money
Hmm.
in order to get in there. So
Sure.
that's funny that I had the same recommendation. And basically, once you achieve like 80% of your passive income goal, yeah, you have more options. At least you feel a little bit more free, and you can tell your boss to, you know,
Right.
goodbye. And
Hmm. Right. Absolutely. I also talk to some of my clients that I mentor and coach, and I tell them, okay, look, what are your monthly bills? Your electric, your water, your gas, your food bill. What is that? Okay, so let's say, I don't know, $2,000 a month goes to your utilities and whatnot. I said, why don't you go out and find a duplex or a fourplex, right? That you can buy, single family home, even and that where at the end, after all expenses, that property covers your bills for every single month. Imagine the relief that you have. Now you're not working to cover your bills.
Yeah, exactly.
You're working for other reasons now. Now you can
Yeah.
kind of sit back and breathe and say, wow, you know what? Every month my bills are covered, so I don't have to worry about that. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree.
People
Yeah.
think, oh, real estate, I gotta go do, and yeah, take it slow.
Yep.
What's your electric bill? $100? Okay, well, go buy property. Boom, there you go. $100 covered. Next,
Mhm.
what else you got? Groceries? How much? $1,000 a month? All right, there you go. Here's another property. Right, and that's
Yeah.
how you build your portfolio. And next thing you know, you've got a nice little portfolio of income producing properties, and all your bills are paid for. So if all your
Mhm.
bills are paid for, now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you can go and you can
Yeah.
live life on your terms. You can enjoy life. You can kind of look around and go, what have I been missing the last 20 years?
Yeah. Exactly. So you want to do that before you're too old, and then
Yeah.
you're just like you can still enjoy the world and travel and all that.
Hmm.
And I think you have a very unique perspective because at 18, so a lot of people, it's a little bit addictive, I would say. Like when you're working, especially if you're working full time, you have a good job. Let's say you're a lawyer and you have a good job, you're making lots of money, you enjoy what you're doing, and or maybe you don't even enjoy what you're doing, but you're making a lot of money, and then it's really addictive. I mean, you get the money, you get the nice car, you get the nice house, you get the
Right.
nice pool and everything, and I'll say, yeah, okay, well, I can do that, but then that's it's going to be hard for me to shift over, and you get into that addiction mentality, and but your perspective is very unique because you drop out of school 18 years old and went out and or maybe a little bit later you did the army and then you traveled after that. Okay,
I did the
so
army, and then I worked, I worked
yeah,
for Lehman Brothers, and then I had my own
yeah,
clothing stores in Manhattan. I did all kinds of things.
yeah, but after that you traveled for like 6 years and stuff like
Right.
that,
Hmm.
and that's kind of interesting for me because we think we need so many things, and then at the end you don't need that many things, I mean, when you think about it and stuff like that, I mean, if the house here was burned down today, well, I'd like to have my laptop
Right.
uh and my iPhone. But beside that, I mean, yeah, I don't need anything else really, and
No, you don't. You don't.
I
I'll
need the
tell you
laptop
when.
because that's where the recording is being saved.
Right.
That's why.
Right. Exactly. I'll tell you, when I was traveling, there were many times that I was homeless.
Uh-huh.
Homeless in the sense I didn't have any money. I remember when I left India, I went back to Israel, and then I flew to Portugal to a festival, and I used to make jewelry. So I spent months and months and months making jewelry to be able to sell at this festival, and I had thousands and thousands of dollars worth. I calculated I was going to make about $5,000 in that festival, and that would have held me off a long time. And when I flew into Portugal, my bag never arrived. My bag with all my belongings, everything that I had owned at that time. I've been traveling, and
Yeah.
everything was in my
Yeah.
back, all my stones, all my crystals, all my jewelry, everything gone. The only thing, I had no clothes. I had no way of making money. I had about $100 in my pouch. I had my passport, and that was it. The shirt and the
Wow.
clothes that I had on. And I stayed in Portugal for 6 months because I couldn't afford a plane ticket. I was sleeping on beaches. I was, but my mindset was, I'm I'm never gonna beg for money.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm a capable, strong, smart person. I'm like, I'll never beg. So I was always trying to figure out ways of making money, ways of bartering, ways of doing things, right? It's all in the mindset. But
Yeah.
it's very, very enlightening
Hmm.
to suddenly not have anything. I
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
even have a
sure.
tent. I didn't have a tent or a sleeping bag.
Wow.
It was all, and nothing showed up. And so for 6 months, I was, for the first couple of months, I was just sleeping wherever, on the beach. Thank God it was summertime, so it wasn't cold.
Yeah.
and then slowly I met people, and then they lent me a tent, and then they lent me a sleeping bag, and and I started, back then I was a Reiki master, and then I was doing Reiki one, so I started giving lessons and teaching
Mm,
and healings and so forth. So that's how I started building up kind of my healing business in Portugal.
yeah.
And after several months of doing that consistently, I was able to make money, and then I was able to leave. But yeah, many times I was homeless, and it's very you realize, you can look at it and freak out, or you can look at it and say, I've been taken care of by the universe all this time. There's no reason
Mm,
why I won't be taken care of. And you walk through life with that feeling and that belief that, whatever happens is supposed to happen to me, and I'm going to
yeah.
learn from it, and I'm going to become better, and I'm going to
Mhm.
move. And everything happens for a reason, and I'm thankful for it. And it
Yeah.
was very enlightening.
So yeah, I think it's because a lot of people, I mean, before they take these kinds of action, they would consider that like this mind shift, this change in mind shift. It causes a lot of fear for people. If you tell them, you're going to do this, and then you're going to quit your job, and then that's it.
Hmm.
You're going to be a real estate investor. And it's like, there's a lot of it's very there's a lot of risk apparently, and people are afraid of that. They're afraid of
Sure.
these kinds of changes,
Sure.
and I think part of it, I think it's anchored in the fact that they're afraid they're going to lose their house, they're afraid that they're going to lose their car, they're going to
Hmm.
and all of that. And I think that because of where you came from, I think this is like, what it is to not have anything,
Sure.
and that you can start from nothing again. And it doesn't bother you, so it allows you, it gives you the freedom to take more risk, more calculated risk, obviously, but yeah, it allows you to give you more of that freedom, and you have
Hmm.
less fears, I guess, of less fear of failure necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, when it comes to people who are currently working, right? If
Mhm.
you don't have a family, you don't have a mortgage, you don't have that, and you want to jump into this, and you want to, go balls to the walls, and hey, let's rock and roll, go for it, right?
Yeah.
Um, if you have a mortgage, and you have bills, and you have people that you're responsible for, like we were talking earlier, I would start off slowly. I would start off
Yeah.
maybe investing passively, get some income, learn what it is to be an investor first, right?
Yeah.
Find someone that you like and trust and has a good track record, and invest with them, right? And if you want to then become more active, then, while you're working, get educated first. Learn the business. You have time, meaning
Hmm.
you don't have to, like, oh my God, I have to do a deal by the end of the month, or I'm not going to eat, and I'm going to lose my rent. And right, you have time, right?
Hmm.
But give yourself a time limit to
Yeah.
educate yourself, right? You don't want, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
educate myself for the next 10 years, and then I'm going to do it, right? Give
Yeah.
yourself 6 months, learn as much as you can in 6 months, get a coach, get a mentor, get somebody that you can work with, get a partner that, as we said, complements your skill sets,
Yeah.
and then start working it,
Hmm.
right? Start working it, and you'll see how, I was working with one of my clients, and we were working together, and a year later he partnered up with another group, and they closed on 250 units. So now he's an owner of 250 units, and that just boosts his morale. It
Yeah.
boosts his confidence. Now brokers are going to be calling him. When he calls brokers, they're going to say, "What was the last deal you did?" "Well, we just closed 250 units, and we did this, and we did that, and I was part of this." And he's in it, right? He
Yeah.
gets part of the acquisition fee as well.
Yeah.
So I would tell everybody who wants to get into real estate, who's working. I mean, obviously you have two types, right? You have those that say, yes, I'm going to do this slowly so that I can equal my passive income to my active income, and then leave my job. And then there
Yeah.
are those that say, you know what, dude, I don't have time, right? I'm
Yeah.
45, I'm 50 years old. Screw the job. I've got enough money to survive for a year and a half. If I don't make an income, I'm
Yeah.
jumping in head first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would still recommend get educated,
Yeah.
learn, right? Go to the different conferences, see what's going on, get a mentor so that they can really help you achieve success
Yeah.
faster.
That's right. I think the mentor is something very important. If you start slowly, I think this is that's fine also. But if you're planning to jump in like head head first and all of that. Having a mentor, I think, is very important. It's going to minimize your risk, reduce some, maybe eliminate or reduce some of the failure potential that you may have, and help you accelerate, kind of like accessing achieving your goal. So I definitely recommend that. And that's kind of how I got started. When I got my first apartment building, I was 18 years old. And that's because I had a mentor. But everybody, like 18 years old, you can imagine talking to the realtor and say, hey, I want to buy an apartment building. By the way, I don't have any money, but I think I can get it no money down. And the realtor was like, what, who are you? Why do you think this is happening? This will happen. And then, but it did happen after, it took me maybe like 3 to 6 months to find the property and find the right seller that was willing to give me a vendor take back note on the property, and was cash flowing after that. So,
Perfect.
but there's a lot of naysayer. Without the mentor, I don't think I would have been able to get there. I think I would have given up, because the realtor, I mean, he was much older than I was, more experienced than I was. And he kept telling me that that's what you're looking for doesn't exist, up until he said, he gave me the binders of MLS listing and said, you look for it yourself. He's just like, they don't exist. So he gave me 4 binders of MLS. I went through every single one of them, and I found 2 or 3 that worked. And one of them was a vendor, a seller that was willing to take a note for the property. So
Persistence beats resistance.
But it was a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Money makes it a lot easier. So tell me, for our listeners, so if they want to, I mean, you're specialized right now in multifamily. If people want to get, if maybe they have already single family and they want to jump into multifamily, or they want to just, no, I don't want to do single family for whatever reason, because I don't have a W-2 job and I can't get a loan or something like that. I want to get right into multifamily. So what are your recommendations in terms of strategy, in terms of which market are better? Is there a better market than others? And so how do they find their first deal?
Sure. So how do you find your first deal? Well, first look at, when I look at markets, I look at, first of all, what's easy to get to from where I am, what's cheap and quick, right? I'm in South Florida. I'm not going to buy properties all the way in Oregon across the country. That's going to take me such a long time to get there. Expensive flights, right? If you're going to be doing it out of your backyard in a different state or, a different city and whatnot, if you have to fly there, again, make sure that it's close and it's easy to get to. But, I always look for places that have serious job growth. That's the holy grail. Right? Job growth, job growth, job growth, job growth. You want to look at what is the city doing to create jobs? What are they doing to bring in companies to build factories and warehouses, right? Where are the Amazons and the FedExes and the Targets? Where are they moving to? Where are the Home Depots opening up, right? That's what I look for. I look for all those places. I look for places that are hubs that people are going to. There's a great report called the Milken Report, Milken. People, they give the top 10, top 100 cities. You can, Google is a beautiful thing today, right? You can Google the top 10 cities millennials are moving to.
Yeah.
And look at those cities, right? And see what kind of job growth that they're having, what's going on there. And then, I would reach out to different brokers and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do, and this is my team and so forth. And that's how you can find the properties. At the same time, what I teach, when I work with my clients, I tell them, I want you to create an inventory sheet. Right? Just take a piece of paper, put a line down the middle of it. On one side, that's you. On the other side is what you need. And I say, you put down on your side what you bring to the table. Right? Sometimes people bring money. Sometimes they bring a track record. Sometimes they bring credibility. They bring time. They bring a network of people. They, whatever expertise. Right? They know how to underwrite. They love their influences, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You put it down on that side, right? And you say, okay, now to complete my business, my company, I should say, what other parts do I need that I don't have? Right? If I can't qualify for the loan, I'm going to need someone to qualify. I'm going to need attorneys. I'm going to need maybe financial partners that can pay for the deposits and the reports and whatnot. I'm going to need a business partner who knows how to underwrite, someone who knows how to do marketing, someone, right, whatever it is. And you put
Yeah.
that there. Now you know exactly what you need. And then all you have to do is go find those people,
Yeah.
right? I talk a lot about, it's not how to do something, right? Don't worry about the how. We can all figure out the how. There's YouTube. You can figure out how on YouTube for everything. Don't worry about the how. Change those two first letters, the A, the H and the W, switch them. It's who.
Yeah.
Who can I talk to that can help me? Right.
Mhm.
Well, what's the issue? Well, I need people that have money. Okay. Well, who can help you? I don't know who. Influencers, people that have a huge network of people. My
Mhm.
cousin who's got a rich friend, this guy, whatever it is, right? Find out
Yeah.
who can help you and start building your team together, and um, and then go from there and get
Yeah.
educated.
Mhm.
Education is huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think when you have the who, when you have the right people on your team, I mean, first of all, you can't do everything, and I think it's very important to have a team that is be well surrounded, that have a lot of experience, and can also keep you out of trouble. And yeah, so it's more fun also when you go on vacation than just by yourself. And so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I go on vacation with my CFO. We're friends.
Excellent. Let's see. So let's see. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the. So you do coaching right now with some individuals, and you help them basically kind of go through and achieve their goal. And so tell me a little bit about that service that you offer.
Yeah, sure. So my goal is to help people get into their first deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get into that first deal. Once you get into your first deal, it's so much easier then, right?
Mm-hmm.
You already know what's going on. So I help, my coaching is different levels. We've got one-on-one, we've got group coaching, I'm creating my online master class so people can go online and, sit at the comfort of their own home and watch videos and do workbooks and really understand the market. And I talk about everything from A to Z about how to buy multifamily, how to raise capital, how to do the closings, how to manage the managers, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And but my goal is to first work on the mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that come from a job now have to switch to a different mentality,
Yeah.
where it's a positive mentality that, I can overcome any obstacle that's put in front of me as long as I look for solutions and not just focus on the problems.
Yeah.
So we work a lot on that. We work a lot on the mindset, on understanding how to create goals that I can achieve, how to create tasks to move forward towards the end goal that I want, right? And I like to take, one of their goals that they want to achieve in 12 months, and I like to bring it down and do it. What if we could make that happen within 90 to 60, between 90 days to 180 days? Cut it in half.
Yeah.
Right. So in 1 year, you can accomplish 2 yearly goals.
Yeah.
And as you get good at that, you can even tighten that. And then you do maybe 3 yearly goals in 1 year. And then you tighten it
Mm-hmm.
up and you get better and you can do that. So we focus a lot on that. We focus a lot on building the person's team. Right. And when you join my one-on-one coaching, I open my doors and I give you all of my attorneys' contacts, my lenders, my private equity lenders, everything my black book, if you will, of all
Mm-hmm.
my content and information, all of the legal documents that I've spent, thousands of dollars creating, a lot of mistakes making to create and to tweak all of the documents and all of the offerings and so forth. So they get all that,
Yeah.
just to help people move along, right? I wish I had someone that gave me all that when I got started out. It would have been so much easier, right? Telling me
Yeah.
how to network, who to look for, creating specific avatars so that you can really direct your marketing to these people, right?
Yeah.
All these different little things. And we talk about that and we build it. And, I even sometimes fly out to meet with my clients when they have a property under contract. I said,
Hmm.
okay, you know what, let's go. And I'll walk with them and we'll do the due diligence together and I'll show them
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Because I see things that they don't see, right?
yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and, and my goal again is not to keep you as a client for 30, 40 years, right?
Hmm.
I look at it like the Chinese acupuncturist, the Chinese herbalist. I want to keep you healthy so I don't have to see you,
Yeah.
right? I want to show you, I want to teach you so that you can do it on your own and you can go fly, right?
Hmm.
That'll be the best referral, the best testimonial for me is, hey, this is what I did for this person, right? I worked with them for a year and boom, they bought 250 units and now they're off. They're doing it
Yeah.
on their own.
Yeah.
You can have that as well. You don't want 250 units, you want 10 units. Let's go do that as well,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So I work really closely because my goal is not to, it's not to, again, not to create students and clients and be a guru on the top of a mountain. My goal is to really help people change their lives
Hmm.
so that they can live life on their terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to stress out over where's my next meal coming. Wow, I don't even have a tent to live in tonight. Where am I going to
Hmm.
sleep?
Hmm.
Right? Well, that tree looks good. Okay, well, let me go look at that tree. I've been there. I know what it's like, right? Um, I've struggled through that. I've worked my way out of it. Um, and I want to help people work their way out of
Hmm.
whatever situation they're in. And I
Yeah.
want to give them a glimmer of hope, light at the end of the tunnel. Say, dude, that's where you need to go. Let's go.
Yeah. 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 And that's also why I wrote my book too. It's like really to help people and all of that. And I found that as you, I mean, the number one thing is the mindset, is about doing a mindset shift. There's a mindset in terms of limiting belief, and then there's also the mindset in terms of this is not the same way of working anymore. You're not waiting for your boss to tell you what to do. You can't just kind of like relax and sit back and
Right.
blah blah blah. You make things happen. Things don't happen unless you do something.
Exactly.
So that's a big mindset shift for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And then we talk about a little bit about kind of like skills. Obviously, there's some skills that are needed also in terms of the the financial aspect of it, but also the risk management aspect of it, and also kind of like looking at the different strategies and aligning everything with your goal.
Mhm.
And so I think that's also something that's pretty important. And then my goal at the end of the book is that they do a transaction, at least one transaction with the book, and doesn't have to be a big one, but I'm hoping that
Mhm.
this is what they get to. But one thing that I talk a lot about is also about the daily practice. So, and really every day to sit down, I prefer in the morning, but like where you're in a quiet place just by yourself and really thinking about, okay, what's the next step? What do I need to accomplish today? What did I accomplish yesterday or didn't accomplish yesterday? Why not? And then what do I need to do today? And then kind of
Mhm.
move forward like that. Yes, you need to have big goals, somewhere to aim, to target, and but also like a daily practice so that every day you're doing something. Otherwise, people, I think, tend to, oh yeah, no, well, not today, or I'm going to watch this, or I'm going to go on. And this is something that you can do everywhere. I mean, you
Mhm.
can really, even on vacation, you say, well, while I'm on vacation, I know I'm on vacation, I can't go and walk a property or something like that, but I
Why
can
not? I
read.
do.
I can. It depends if the property is where you're vacationing, but if it's sometimes about reading an article or talking to
Mhm.
somebody or learning or trying to build your team or networking or something like that. There's a lot of things that you can do even when you are away from
Oh,
home or something like
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And mm,
Mhm. I work constantly. We're, like I
yeah,
said, we're leaving Monday. We're going. We're
yeah,
driving up north, and I take my laptop, I take my phone, I take my little
yeah,
headphones, and even when we're hiking, I can take a phone call.
yeah.
Right? I go to the back of the line. I take a phone call while we're hiking in the mountain, negotiate a contract, negotiate a deal. Figure something
Mhm.
out and whatnot, and you continue working. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Right.
the beauty of this and the technology today that we're in, is that we can do real estate from anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
right? The only reason why I have this office and I have a desk and I have a computer and I have all this is because I have two kids who are in school.
Yeah.
I have to be in one place because they're in
Yeah.
school, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
to, I mean, taking them, and we travel as much as we can, even during the year and whatnot. But it's good for a kid to have a home base and to
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
build roots and friends and whatnot.
Mhm.
But that's the only reason. My daughter in
Yeah.
5 years, when she's out of high school, I'm giving all this up. I'm gonna buy a boat, and that's where I'll do my business from.
Excellent. So Nitzan, wrapping it up, why do you have a Yoda picture behind you? I have to ask.
So what does Yoda always tell Luke Skywalker? It's about mindset.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
or
Okay.
do not. There is no try. So that's my guy, right?
Very
Use
good.
the force.
Uh-huh.
Use the force.
Uh-huh.
There is a force. There's a karmic energy. There's universal energy. There are universal laws that exist. And if we can just tap into those universal laws and understand how they work, then we become Yoda. Then we can
Uh-huh.
manipulate things. We can do things. We can become things. We can, be this small but be this big as at the same time, because we understand how to take advantage of universal laws. And that's why he's there.
All right. Very good. Well, Nitzan, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with us. And
It's been a pleasure.
so
Thank you.
take you later. Enjoy your vacation and your journey.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, Eric.
Thank you for listening to Break Away from the Rat Race with your host, Eric Martel. If you want to share your story and experience with our listeners, please message us on Facebook at Break Away from the Rat Race. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast on iTunes.